Hello, sweet soul, for whoever finds this. This is going to be a reading. I've been itching to do a card pull, but I want to start out with some messages because I've been recording videos for a few days, but not getting the call to post them, or feeling like they're a little bit too disjointed in the messaging to post for whatever reason. So first thing I want to talk about is the lower chakras. I've been feeling like we're going through a clearing with the root chakra, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra. And for women, this period cycle with this full moon that we had on the 19th, whenever you got your period this month, and this is like research that I've gathered from talking to other women as well as my own experience, but it's been a particularly potent and painful period cycle. I've certainly been feeling that, and preceding my actual period, I was having sensations in the root chakra, and it's not really like, if it could be located physically, it feels like a bruised tailbone. But I also feel like if you were to just delete the body, there's still, an energy center there, and it's more so sensations in the subtle energies that are located there, less about the actual body. But it feels like a lot of the things that have kept us from feeling truly anchored either in our bodies or in our lives or in our senses of security when it comes to feeling like we can always ever call forth more material security in the form of money, like understanding that you're a conduit for bringing the frequency of abundance through you by your way of being anchored in your body. That's how you anchor abundance, is being fully rooted in your body. And I think there's, misconceptions for being spiritual, like we're all located in the third eye, in the crown chakra, but you do, in order to be fully spiritual, have to be in the sexual chakras, the sexual energy, and the root as well, to have the whole system online and clear. And also, like digestive issues, digestive purging is a theme this week and this moon cycle. And so we're coming up on the new moon on September 2nd in Virgo. And what's interesting about this new moon is that it's going to be in direct opposition to Saturn, which is in retrograde, in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is such a dreamy sign. It's about our dreams. It's like this, right? Intuition, high priestess, in a world of intuitively led things that can be hard to anchor in the physical world, hard to implement. But because it's Saturn, and Saturn's this disciplinarian energy, and Virgo, very studious, organized, productive. Virgo, I think of lists. I think of getting things done and checking things off of lists. Virgo new moon in opposition to Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, is giving our dreams more structure, giving us the opportunity to create a more structured way to proceed. And a psychic download that I got yesterday when I was at the dog park was about the ideas that came to us prior to the Lionsgate portal that started feeling amplified, like if these ideas were kind of dropping into our lives for various different parts of our lives, like new ideas about creative stuff, about relationships, about the home and the family and all of that. And then, I don't know, maybe about like your body or your career. I just got home, my dog's really active, so forgive the background noise. I think that it could be feeling from like June onwards, like we've been in this like stop and go thing with our ideas and with our new projects or things that we want to do. But really, it's been this oscillation between feminine and masculine energy, and you need both in nature to create. This is one of the 12 laws of the universe. It's the law of gender. It's that we need two forces, and then we need a gestational period in order to birth something properly. And so what has felt like this stop and go kind of waffleation between like having an idea, moving it forward, stepping back, having your attention brought over here, doing something over there, getting put over here. It feels very scattered, but it's actually this flip-flop between marinating in the more feminine energy of receiving ideas and dreaming and letting that kind of move your energy outside of you, and then rising to meet that in the 3D and implementing things and putting the inspired action steps behind the idea as you're guided to do that. And so there's nothing wrong with that process. And then during the Lionsgate energy, there was tons of openings, illuminations. My gosh, I can't even put into words yet all of the things that have changed for me since the 888 portal. One of the things that it's kind of funny that I've been noticing is my sense of smell, not psychic smell, not smelling things that aren't there, but my literal sense of smell, my actual smell, has gotten much more keen, much stronger. It's like, I think that certain people have very strong personal, pheromonal bodily odors, but some people don't. And we oftentimes don't get like familiarly, intimately acquainted with somebody's bodily odor unless we're like hugging them. And that's not how it is for me. It's like all of a sudden I'm just around people and I can smell everybody. And so there's a lot of acclimation to different sensory experiences and psychic experiences. Another thing that's changed for me is how lucid I am when I get pulled into what I like to call astral counsel or astral workshops. I believe that all of us exist in this space of being counseled by our spirit guides and higher dimensional beings, but we may not remember it. And I feel like every few months, every few weeks, I'm lucky to remember these lucid, deep learning sessions. And what my guides have told me is that I'm being I'm more conscious in these sessions because they're helping me access a higher level of my like spiritual pedagogy really for the future of my mission and what I'm going to be doing in the months to follow where we're at right now at the end of August here, and what's going to be happening in the next few years, which are just quantum leaps beyond what we can even fathom for humanity, for Earth. It's going to be 2025, 2026, 2027 are really going to be years to remember. And I think a lot of people, what we're going through right now is helping us level up to be able to move in that world in the way that we are pre-contracted to, spiritually contracted to show up in those spaces. So anyway, there's something really fortuitous coming in with a new moon around dreams, around finally having this gestational period with those pre-Lionsgate ideas and visions sort of hit the ground running. And it's not like you're going to be in that waffleation anymore, because this gestational thing with pulling back and moving forward is sort of coming full circle here. It's been germinating, gestating, ready for release. But the beautiful thing is that when a baby is ready to be born, the water breaks, it comes naturally. Of course, you can go in and induce the labor, but we're not doing that. The universe is getting ready to show us how these ideas are being birthed naturally. And it's going to feel really good. I think that the people who, especially people with earth sign placements who naturally come about a groundedness in their self and how they implement things, it's going to feel super rewarding to be able to move into this moon and see things that you have felt are ready to take shape. Just do that, It's like all of this work coming into full culmination, patience and planning, new beginnings. So I'm going to get current energy to embrace, energy to release. Another thing that I've been channeling on for the past few days is, and this goes along with like the lower chakras clearing, is the importance of the breath and the connection of anchoring the breath all the way into the body and then visualizing your breath as you breathe it in. And I like to breathe in with the visual of light coming into my crown chakra and moving all the way down my body to clear my chakras. Excuse me. The most readily accessible light, my working matter, if you will, is like the rainbow iridescent soup. Rainbow iridescent opalescent light. But white light is just as good. Blue light, silver light, gold light. White light is the highest frequency of unconditional love. And so you're breathing, you're anchoring it all the way in, but then at the tailbone, you imagine your breath and your connection to your body, the connection to the unmanifested energy that just swirls in the imaginal realms, comes through you, you anchor it into your body, and then it goes all the way down into the center of the earth. And we don't have to know how many miles there are or what the substance is like underneath the earth's crust or any of that in order to be able to connect with the concept of the center of the earth. And that's all you need to be able to send that all the way down and create a really grounded connection for yourself to welcome more of the high vibrational frequencies into your body and to create that conscious connection to what you're doing there, to allow yourself to be able to hold more of it. And I think I've been hearing of a lot of different people going through certain health things recently, and I feel like I was mentioning this a few months ago, but there's no wiggle room anymore with the changes that we're experiencing on the earth this summer for habits that don't feed you. They have to feed your body, feed your soul, feed your mind, and we want to drop the things that aren't doing that because there's a lot less wiggle room. Like, I truly believe that we can develop maladies much quicker, but on the other side of that, we can develop healing rapidly as well. So it's like, you know, if we're talking about, oh, I drink this much water a day, or like somebody saying, I've tried that, it doesn't really work. It's all about consistency. You're not going to see instant results, but whatever you pour into consistently is going to rapidly affect your life right now, for better or for worse. And so the other thing about that anchoring exercise with breathing is that energy that you have access to when you're imagining it coming through your crown chakra, moving through all your chakras and going down into the earth, is that you're creating a conduit out of your physical body to connect. You're in between the higher dimensional realms. You're in between heaven and earth. And all of the energy that you feel, and I like to feel, but I also tend to feel crown chakra, like tingles, warmth, different shifts in the subtle sensations of the body as you move that energy through. It's the energy that you use to create what it is that you want. So you can breathe it in and see it taking root, blossoming, bringing little bulbs of light into the third eye, letting it bloom there, letting it bloom in the throat, bloom in the heart, bloom in the solar plexus, and it creates something. It creates healing, it creates space, it pushes out blockages. Or in the heart space, I like to create artwork from my heart space. It's also where we can root and anchor gratitude for what we have and allow for more to come to us by way of accepting our present circumstances with a grateful heart. So there's something very creative about that anchoring process that allows us to be more conscious of how we're moving our energy into what we're experiencing. And that, again, with like the laws of the universe, is the law of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to take this for current. It's the throat chakra. And then I'm going to do energy to embrace. I wonder if I can go like that. Throat chakra. Energy to embrace is the Emperor, 5 to 4. They add up to 9, which is like almost there. The energy to release. Prosperity begins. This is interesting. And I immediately am reminded of, again, with the red and number 1 and the roots here. The root chakra. Clarify from this deck why we're releasing it. Okay. Yeah, again with this Saturn energy with the year of 2028, Judgment is clarifying this in the release position. So it's sort of an eye on the prize thing, but it's also a reminder that it's okay to, I'm seeing somebody take their eyeballs out of their head and like move them around in this 360 panoramic way, because we're reminding ourselves why we want what we want. You're reorienting your point of attraction to be truly aligned with what we could refer to as the divine will or divine judgment, the things that we have been covetous over or the things that we've wanted to manifest. We're realigning with why we're bringing that in. And I'm sort of seeing this as like one hand is yours, one hand is the universe's hand, the proverbial hand that guides us, blessing the seeds that you've sown. So I think that there are things falling away that are not going to take root. And it's only the ego that takes the hit for that. It's only the ego that takes the hit for that. And there's something here with like energy to embrace, releasing this idea of like only seeing the material, only seeing the seeds. This card is the Ace of Pentacles. So it's allowing us to, because the Emperor can be sort of commandeering, but when it's a well-wielded energy, when it's done respectfully, it garners more respect, right? And there's no reason to be fearful or I'm thinking of like rebellious children. This is sort of like the two poles within ourselves. There's feminine and masculine, but there's also this maturity and this innocence within all people, because we were all once a baby. We were all once a child. So there's something about outgrowing these insecure expressions of ourselves, which at a certain point in our development can feel very empowered. But as we learn to express our own needs to ourselves, but also to others, I think we come to realize that there are certain things that we wanted for fear that we couldn't have them, not because we need them, not because they're for us, because when we want what we want, there is sort of this ripple out effect where we're allowed to manifest anything we want and want anything that we want. But when you're coming from a place that's aligned, you will want things not in a selfish way. Let's clarify that. Clarify with energy to embrace as the Emperor from this deck. It's the Queen of Wands. Yeah, so I'm hearing something about creative alchemy and remembering that when you are in a place of power, you can also immediately, nothing is permanent. Why do we want anything? We don't want to ever be sitting like a dragon on a pile of gold. You can always, spin your good riches into something. Like I'm also feeling and seeing like she made her coat, she picked this sunflower from her garden. There's this resourcefulness coming in around the ideas that we've been like, I'm seeing like waves of like a soft billowy garment, but they're like this actually, waves of clouds coming into our lives to change the way that we feel about ourselves and what we want. It's a kind of stability that nobody, I think, is used to. Nobody who's alive right now who would be watching this reading, who would resonate with this reading, is used to this, because the energy that is becoming accessible to us, it is overriding a lot of the templates that are artificial that we've been subjected to, that are plugged into lack, plugged into making people feel like they are never enough and that they will never have enough and that there are always new threats coming in to take away what it is that you have and your sense of self and security. That's being replaced. And I also really like that we're augmenting the strong masculine with a strong feminine energy, and that it's the Queen of Wands because it's also confident. There's also a sense of ego involved because it's okay. You're a human. You're going to have an ego. You're allowed to be proud of yourself and proud of who you are. And then you use that what am I trying to say? Identical. The opposite of identical. Unique thumbprint. Unique thumbprint. To put your beautiful little fingerprints all over everything that you touch, because you're only alive once, right? You're making a mark on the world with everything you do, with all your thoughts, with all your contributions. Unseen or seen. Everything is recorded. But we're also getting this beautiful experience with this new moon of stepping into a space where it feels as if the slate is wiped clean. What's the hidden energy? The Hanged Man. Sacrifice. So this is tying into that energy of release and taking a new, being bold enough and brave enough to recognize that whatever the universe is calling judgment on in your life that does not belong, things that you're being pushed away from. And I'm being brought back to the idea of like rapid shifts in health for better or for worse. You are your own greatest healer. You have the choice. Every single thing counts. Every glass of water, every little, tiny little walk for 5 minutes that you take or whatever it may be. Kitty. Can add or can subtract from your overall sense of wellness. But also, tying back to releasing, this Ace of Pentacles It's a don't put the something before the something, the cart and the horse or something. It's like taking stock of who we've become throughout the first part of the year and how the world has opened up for us in a way that is perhaps no longer aligned with some seeds that it's okay to stop watering because there's other seeds that we don't even realize consciously that we planted, and they've come from the actions that we've been guided to do on a more soul-led subconscious level for far longer than just this year. You cannot lose what is truly yours. You cannot fall out of alignment with the option to anchor in great abundance, but we have to be able to dream even bigger than what it is that we thought we wanted from an ego gratifying place. That's a lovely message. What's the incoming energy? What's the incoming energy? Oh, I'm gonna get a, I'm taking that down because I'm gonna put whatever card I pull right now there, and then I'm gonna get a Keepers of the Light Ascended Master Oracle. Okay, love this. Two of Pentacles is about choices. We've gone from having just one pentacle to having two. It's a step up, and when we reach 1 to 2, there's a fork in the road. There's a choice. We now have working matter to be able to put things into motion, and Virgo season is a great time to work with that pentacle-based energy of momentum. And the other thing that I'm hearing is that there's something really cool about September where you're not necessarily going to have the foresight or the idea or the vision too prematurely beyond when you're implementing it. There's going to be something, it's the essence of living in flow. There's going to be something really amazing in the way that it feels to kind of receive your next move and then immediately walk into it. Receive your idea and then immediately put it into the works, even if that's not fully executing it. It's sort of this receive and this give, and it makes me think about her posture, how she's like almost in the middle of a little dance. She's moving, and I think about somebody jogging, right? Transitioning your weight. There's going to be a feeling of that, like continuing to balance the weight of our responsibilities and what we'd like to do, and continuing to remind ourselves that these things that feel very heavy are also not in your life by chance, by accident. We can always, with our attention, here it is, Divine Alchemy, Amethyst, Holy Amethyst, move beyond current challenges, focus on what you desire. I was just about to say that. We can always focus more and migrate more into a space by amplifying the vibrations and the energies in our heart of gratitude and hope and acceptance. When we experience things that we like, even just in our imagination, we can amplify the vibration and the summoning point that we possess as a magnet, oracally, by focusing there. And we can pull our attention, or at least our reactive emotional chargedness, we can dial that down and become more conscious of how we're radiating emotionally and vibrationally when we encounter the things that we would prefer to experience less of. So we're allowing for kind of, and I'm also getting a little bit of a Wheel of Fortune energy, and I was doing a personal reading for myself yesterday using this deck. There's a Hierophant. And it's a sister deck, it's the same deck, but it's a different, like colorway. And I was doing, using both decks to pull cards for myself, and I had different positions that I was doing, and the Wheel of Fortune came out side by side. For one position that I was pulling personal cards for, I pulled both Wheels of Fortune out in the same position for something that I am getting personal clarity on right now, and it's just mind-blowing. It was so cool. I'm seeing this as a miniature Wheel of Fortune where we're getting a lot more acclimated to what's been happening with these intense upticks where it's like, I feel like I've been put in the microwave. I'm really hungry. My body feels tired. There's this serious exhaustion. I've been getting these like midday, like 2 p.m. slumps where I'm like, it's bedtime. I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy that I could just literally fall asleep. Like sometimes when I'm tired, I couldn't actually fall asleep but I have been truly like almost nodding off level sleepiness. And we have to remember when we feel that way or have like, you know, these growing pains with our bodies, aches and pains and stuff, just keeping the energy in this subtle flow and remembering that what you're processing at an energetic level is beyond what you think you're going through, like the ins and outs of your day. There's so much more that meets the eye, and it takes us a little while to catch up to that and understand that. So this is like this mini wheel of fortune, surfing the pentacles of what comes in, releasing what we don't want, and getting a little bit more ease with that. The Holy Alchemist's role. I'm sorry, it says Holy Amethyst, but I said Holy Alchemist. And I want to get one more because that one flipped just for the message that I was saying. But this is the Ascended Master guiding, overlighting energy for the new moon in Virgo. Also, with this Saturn Pisces opposition to this new moon, pay attention to what you experience and see in your dreams. Saint Germain karma releasing. This has to do with the first message. This has to do with moving beyond drama, creating your own path, making room for good energy. I think that a lot of people, it's sort of this magical revelation. It's just naturally gracing us. And I'm seeing somebody like a cosmic goddess dropping these little lily of the valley bells on our heads. It's a very cute, cool vision. Like she's like a large goddess, like 1,000 feet tall, just tromping around on the earth, dropping these little helmets that are flower blossoms. Go with me here, onto the heads of the people. And it's this feeling of like, wow, I'm such a capable creator of what I want. We're seeing the web of karma that we've always been entrenched in, and we have this like cosmic level of forgiveness for everybody who's ever been involved in our snafus, right? In our karmic webs, because we're all of the same universal energetic web. We're all born into these, you know, these families and these knit structures, and then we create more based on past lives and how we, like particles, are just buzzing around for the, you know, majority or the first parts of our lives until we wake up and we understand that a lot of people don't know how to swim outside of, you know, the buoys of these tangled things. It's like these ley lines of these tangled ropes in this sea, which is sort of like where the false matrices are. It's like we don't even know as particles how to travel outside of these energetic lines, because that's where the main channels of energy in society are pushed through, and that's where people are pulled. And it's very interesting to be expressing myself, throat chakra, more authentically than I ever have in my whole entire life, with the people who have been closest to me for my whole life, and kind of wanting them to be like, no, come back into the safe side. Don't do that. Don't go over there. Don't be all out there. And I've always been out here. You know, I've been masking, I think, for a lot of the close people that I don't necessarily relate to on all of these topics, like for a while. It's not, there's no wrangling this. It's always been there, right? But there's something with these beautiful blossoms of helmets where we're being graced. It's this, graced with the limitlessness of our own potential, crowned with the limitlessness of our own potential as we're clearing karma. I love that. I love that. And there's so much good purple energy here. And I also am seeing amethyst, beautiful big amethysts, even a little chunk, or wearing purple can help, or also labradorite for Virgo season. And that thing I was talking about with the Two of Pentacles, labradorite crystals can help you with focus. We're moving into a time where it's going to feel easier to navigate without head fog, without conflicting ideas. We're dropping into a space where the wisdom is trumping all of the mental anguish that's been tripping us up since the beginning of spring. Specifically, there's been a certain level of mental anguish, and that has been located. I'm seeing a grid and somebody's highlighted a bunch of different points on it. These little hot points, those have been lit up on your personal, Akash, your personal points of integration, exactly where the patterns that you've clung to for the longest needed to finally be acknowledged. Let's get an incoming energy from this deck. Okay, we're going to take them because that was kind of cool. This is to pair with the Two of Pentacles energy. It's the Chariot, Triumph, and Intuition, the High Priestess. And again, this adds up to 9, and I said that about the Throat Chakra and the Emperor card. And then 9 and 9, we have 18. It's another 9. Kitty. My cat has been excessively demanding lately. Yeah, so I mean, this too, even these two being these major arcana cards, feminine, and this is a much more masculine energy. It's allowing for these two pentacles. We're in this juggling mode. We're envisioning, we're imagining, we're putting forth, into the pool of the universal energy. We're breathing it into our body. We're seeing it take shape. We're understanding that when you conceive of something and you put your energy towards it, it's done. Now, I'm going to share this. I don't typically ever talk about anything, financial personally, publicly, because why would I do that? I don't need anybody's energy attached to my situation financially. That's private. But I was needing some extra money, okay? And I totaled how much money I was needing. And it came out to be about $5,000. I needed $5,000. And so during the Lionsgate, I was saying, I was writing in red ink, thanks for the $5,000. Thank you. I wrote it every day for 10 days. And then out of the blue, something random happened. And it's not like it came from nobody. It came from somebody that I know, but I was not expecting it. I do not regularly get checks for $5,000, but I went on this big long road trip and I saw a bunch of people that I haven't seen for a long time, and I was handed a $5,000 check. And I almost burst into tears because I said, this is exactly how much money I need to get back into a place where I feel great. And I never let anybody, or it's not about being fake, right? It's about knowing that things will be okay. The universe will provide. Sometimes you do need to let yourself just continue, even if you don't have a plan, not because you're irresponsible, but because you know that you're covered. And a lot of people out of fear won't let themselves continue without trying to create some type of solution because they don't trust that they're provided for. But there's a mastery around this creation and then knowing that it's done and then moving forward so that you can meet the deliverance of your creation with no doubt, with all faith. Her eyes are closed. Yet he is, wide open, moving very quickly. So we're embodying this tandemness around that. And it's super beautiful. And I'm going to cut the deck as a lasting thought here. The Queen of Swords. Oh, I love this depiction of the Queen of Swords. I love it because the Queen of Swords is air sign. But she has this watery thing going. And again, it's like being in the flow. It's like allowing for us to juggle all of these elements with divine alchemy. The mental stuff that has been lighting up, our points of contention internally, when we get into our own ways mentally, when we overthink things, she's not doing that. She is sort of the queen of reasoning things through and like cutting off all the bullshit, but she's not, aggressing upon anyone to do that. She's just holding the space down, just sitting there. Sword's not even in her hand. So there's something, there's a mirroring effect with them too, in these purple flowy robes. Yeah. I'm going to leave it at that because that feels very succinct. The reading feels good. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonates with you. And I never finished this thought. I'm being reminded about what I was saying. I'm sure I cut myself off because I do that a lot. But I was going to say something about whatever you're experiencing in your dreams right now. Listen to that. I think that there could be a couple different camps of what people are experiencing in their dreams. There could be crazy dreams that are expressions of this karma clearing, of these things that are releasing. Like you're watching different manifestations of what you've been going through play out and then you're having emotions about that potentially, like when you wake up thinking about the dreams, or you're seeing different pockets of certain things open up for you in your dreams, like wormholes, like little spaces that you can move through with your creative visualization, with your newfound strength and power, as you see things from a new point of view, Hanged Man energy, as you sacrifice a more shallow vision, once we've allowed for the divine will to kind of iron out these rumples, these wrinkles, these sticking points. It's not smooth to traverse the cloth with a bunch of stuff underneath the fabric. And so these things might be unearthed in your dreams. And somebody was telling me the other day about some dreams that they were having that they were finding very disturbing. And I was reminding them that it's okay to just take your little beautiful golden scissors and snip that away, because you're conscious of it. Your body, your mind, your soul, you're processing it when you dream it. There are some dreams that we wake up from and we feel so viscerally rocked to our core. Like you still, even if you forget what happened, you feel it in your body to the point where you might be like carrying it with you through the day. And that's because you processed it, right? It's the notion of you have to feel it to heal it. So if it's disturbing or any type of like, energy that you don't want to have to look at or acknowledge, well, number one, email me if that's you and you have a specific question, because I don't like to give blanket advice for individual circumstances. But the blanket advice that I will give for the purpose of making a point here is that you don't have to get to the bottom of it. It's okay to acknowledge that there are certain things purging through our subconsciousnesses that are coming up to that conscious level where you remember it in the morning and then you release it. And one more card. Oh my God, I put it back, okay? So just as a lasting thought again. And the reason my guides are saying it's because of the sword. So what I was just talking about with the dreams, you can, as you move through this space of receiving this kind of crown of acknowledging your full potential as things move out, things that don't benefit us, and illusions too. There's massive illusions being lifted from our individual lives, but it's going to, whoa, cool vision. That's a painting. I'm seeing a large silk handkerchief that's as big as the United States. Okay. And like the same goddess is swirling it. She's like twirling it and picking it up. And underneath, it's like a magic trick. A lot of my visions for paintings are montages, so I have to pick what part I paint. But anyway, that was cool. Yeah, cutting away. It's not like, oh, everything's super easy now, because we're always at new levels of moving through the changes. We're enlightened to the joy of this process because we do see how it's getting better. We do see how it's becoming more rewarding, and we do see how we're creating our own relationship to our experiences of our positive emotions. They have so much more buoyancy than any of the negative stuff. And so as you move through this juggling process, this flow, this state of always departing while always arriving, always being grounded, again now I'm seeing the Magician card. So being able to create too with your experience of your physical body, and being able to find physical relaxation and the release of tension from all parts of your physicality, to be able to sit less anxiously, right? I think that we find that when people are really wrapped up in thoughts and stuff, they'll be like tapping, they'll be grinding their teeth a lot, they'll be like I do, like I'm all jazzed up because I'm doing a reading and I'm pulling a lot of energy through, but I'm always touching my hair. I don't wear my hair down a whole lot, because my mom always says, Maria, you don't ever stop touching your hair. It's distracting. These physical things, when we're physically antsy, it's a reflection of our inner peace or lack thereof. And so we're using the sword to kind of cut away distractions that arise so we can continue not being like fully comatose like a pharaoh in a tomb, but relaxed enough in our bodies that we can move in the way that we're guided to as things start to change more and more. So with that, I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous evening. And if you enjoyed the video, please do like it. It helps my channel. And I hope you have a great night.